Hey everyone, my name is Dale Blasingame and I am your instructor for MC 4381, the Fundamentals of Digital and Online Media, or FDOM. First of all, I hope everyone is okay. I've heard from a couple of you regarding flooding in Houston, so I sincerely hope you and your families are doing okay and are safe. I know this is an unusual circumstance to start a semester, so I just wanted to touch base with you. We are going to have a lecture here in this video because class was canceled today, and next Monday is Labor Day, so we're actually not going to see each other in person until the third class week, which if we don't do anything today, that would mean we would be incredibly far behind. So I'll have a quick lecture for you here on this video. Don't forget, the online module this week is open. Go through and read the syllabus, take the quiz. And we will have labs this Friday, especially read the part of the syllabus about lab attendance. On the third absence, you cannot pass the class. So do not waste one of those absences this week on just not showing up because you didn't think there was lab. We will have lab this Friday. So if you have any questions at all, please contact me and we'll go ahead and get on with the lesson. Again, I hope everyone's doing okay, staying dry, and we will see you here soon in FDOM. All right, so as I mentioned, this is the Fundamentals of Digital and Online Media, MC 4381. We commonly refer to this class as FDOM. So I hope you're going to have a great semester. I know I really enjoy teaching this class. The students seem to really enjoy it, so I hope that trend continues this semester. First, I just want to say hello. As I mentioned earlier, my name is Dale Blasingame. There's my dog Lucy. Just a real brief bit of information about myself. This is my 5th year on the faculty here at Texas State. I teach in our digital media innovation sequence. I typically teach our social media classes or our advanced social media classes. I also teach FDOM. I teach a class where I take students to state parks where they produce video content. I teach drones classes, so I teach a lot of classes involving technology and how it is shaping journalism and how it's shaping public relations and things along those lines. So, like I said, I really enjoy teaching FDOM, and I hope we'll have a great semester together. The class hashtag is FDOM17. You'll be using that throughout the semester, so if you want to just go ahead and save a search on Twitter for it, or just get into the habit of using that hashtag, because, like I said, we'll be using it throughout the semester. And we do cover just about everything in this class. We're going to cover everything from coding to the history of the web and the history of the internet, to video storytelling, to photography, to audio, to podcasts, online business models, mobile apps, content management systems. We cover a ton in this class. So you'll have a nice introduction to how digital is changing all things when it comes to journalism and advertising and public relations when you're done with this class. So here's the setup of FDOM. We will meet in lecture every week. This is the Monday section, so we will meet every Monday from 3:30 to 4:50 in Alkek 250. Some of the important things that we will cover in lecture, obviously, are those class topics, which the majority of your test material is going to come from lecture. So although I don't require attendance in lecture, the students who do well in this class tend to come to lecture. That's how it usually works. Any news items that I bring up in lecture are fair game on the test. Also, almost all the extra credit will be available in lecture. So if you miss lecture, you're not going to be eligible for most of the extra credit. Of course, I am there to answer any questions you have. We'll have some guest speakers. I get you ready for lab, which we'll talk about here in just a second. And the majority of that exam content is going to come from lecture. So Mondays 3:30 to 4:50 in Alkek 250. Then we will have lab every week, and those happen on Fridays. So you will look for the lab that you have signed up for. If you go to your class schedule, you'll see it Also listed under MC 4381, but it'll say L and then a number next to it. Go to the syllabus. That's where you can see where that class is happening and who your lab instructor will be. So, for instance, if it says L04, that means you're in lab 4, and you can go to the schedule on the syllabus and find not only the room assignment, but the time assignment and the lab instructor you'll have. These labs are super important, and the reason we do labs all semester came with feedback from students themselves. They said they wanted more hands-on time, they wanted more training, they wanted more help for assignments, and the class website project that you'll be doing all semester. These are taught by graduate assistants who not only grade your work, but they're there to answer questions and help you along the way. We will have graded lab assignments each week, so you'll get some grades out of this. I cannot stress how important these labs are. You're going to be working on a lot of assignments this semester, and this is where the magic happens. This is where you will really get good at those assignments and at the work you're doing. So take them seriously. That's why we have the attendance policy we do, because these labs are so important. So speaking of attendance, you can miss 2 labs without penalty. We will drop your 2 lowest lab assignment grades each week. However, on that 3rd absence, you cannot pass the class. So we are serious when we talk about how important these labs are. Do not blow your allowed absences in those first couple of weeks, because then you have to go the rest of the semester with no absences in order to pass the class. So labs are incredibly important. They'll meet every Friday based on whatever lab section you signed up for. And then the 3rd prong of the class are the online modules, which we'll have every week. You can go at your own pace on these, but these online modules really go in depth in terms of some tutorials. I'll have articles for you to read that are relevant. I'll get you ready for a lot of the assignments and a lot of stuff that you'll be covering in lab. So we have them due every Thursday by 11:59 p.m. Because you need to have them completed before you go to lab the next day. There will be a quiz at the end of each module, and about half of your exam content will come from these quizzes. So if you take the quizzes, you do well on them, you should do fairly well on the exams as well. So a lot of really important content in these online modules. You can work at it on your own pace as long as you get it done before Thursday night each week, but take them seriously as well. All 3 parts of the class are equally important in terms of your success and getting a good grade in this class. So here's how the grades break down. 30% of your grade is going to come from our website project that we'll be doing all semester, and you're going to learn a lot more about that in the online module this week, and most importantly in lab this week. They will be graded 4 times throughout the semester, 75 points apiece, equaling 300 points. We'll have 4 assignments throughout the semester. They're each worth 50 points apiece. We'll get into those here next week. We'll have those module quizzes, which I mentioned, and I'll have pop quizzes and lecture throughout the semester a couple of times. Those lab checkpoints, we'll have 10 of them. Actually, you'll have 12 of them, but remember, I dropped the lowest 2, so we'll have 10 of them count. They're worth 10 points apiece. Your midterm and your final are each worth 150 points. And if you add all those up, that means we have 1,000 points total in the class. So for every 10 points, that's 1 point on your overall grade. So this might be a little bit confusing right now, but once we get going, you'll get the hang of it and you'll understand how the point system works. And so you can keep really good progress in terms of what your grade is throughout the semester. There's no percentages or anything like that. It's just purely a points-based system. And the midterm won't come for a while, so, if you are one of these folks, this joke works a lot better when it's in person, I promise. We will be using tracks a lot this semester, so in a course this big, tracks becomes really important. So assignments, you'll be submitting your assignments. You can see the rubrics. All of the online modules will be on tracks. there are resources on the web as well, but Trax is going to be kind of the home for our work this semester, and make sure you're familiar with the Trax site. Watch that introductory video that I posted on Trax to get a sense of what the Trax site is there for and how it can help you. This week's online module was all about the syllabus, so I just want to highlight a few things just to hammer home again. I do not keep attendance in lecture. Does that mean you do not have to come to lecture? Absolutely not. Lecture is still incredibly important. Students who do well in this class and get good grades in this class show up to lecture. Lab attendance is required. You can miss 2 without penalty. On the third lab attendance or lab absence, you cannot pass the class. So if you have any questions at all regarding that, please let me know. Also, I don't really handle excused absences in this class. Excused absences are saved for life-altering situations, like, my family's home is flooded in Hurricane Harvey right now, or there's a death in the family. Those all go through the Dean of Students office. So every one of your professionals will be notified of this life-altering situation. But if you have a flat tire on the way to class, that counts as one of those 2 free absences. You have the sniffles and don't want to come in, that would count as one of those 2 free absences. Okay? Let me know if you have any questions at all regarding the attendance policy. Likewise, late work is not accepted, and I mean that in all sincerity. I give you very detailed due dates, and we give you a ton of time to work on these assignments. So I cannot stress enough to not put them off until the last second. Trax, you not understanding Trax or not understanding how to submit the work and you saving it until the very last second to do so is not an emergency. Okay? You'll typically have 2 weeks to complete these assignments. So you need to make sure that you're doing them on time, because late work equals a 0. I promise you, it's a lesson you'll only learn once probably, but late work not accepted. There is no textbook in this class, which that's good news. We'll have a lot of online reading. I do recommend you bring a flash drive to lab, especially so you can save your files. If you need equipment at any point in this semester, meaning a camera, I will have our roster over to the equipment checkout room so you can use that. And don't forget those Friday labs. You can go to the syllabus and see which lab instructor you have, where you're meeting, and the time you're meeting based on the lab that you signed up for. Also, really important, you cannot just go to any lab you want to. Every one of our labs is full. It is state law that we not have more than 20 students in a lab. So if you don't bother with the emails asking if you can go to a different lab that day, we can't, because every single one of the labs is full. You need to go to the lab that you registered for and that you're assigned to. That's really important. If I hear that students are showing up at other labs, 1, your attendance isn't going to count for that day, and 2, we will have a talk very quickly, because we cannot have that happen. It's a requirement from the state that we not have more than 20 students in each of those labs. So a few tips on how to succeed in this class. 1 is don't forget about the online modules. They're incredibly important material. There are quizzes on there, and about half of your exams will come from those online modules. 2, make sure you know how to turn in your assignments on time, in full, and correctly. Use your lab wisely. That's that time for that hands-on help that you get there. That is the time you should be getting the help from your lab instructors. Emailing them at 11:55 p.m. on the night of an assignment is not the time to get help from your lab instructor. Use those labs wisely. And finally, in lecture, I will be posting a study guide here shortly on the Facebook page, which you can find by searching for FDOM at TXST. Request permission to join that page, and I will allow you in. Follow along, ask questions, pay attention, be active. The best type of learning is active learning, so feel free to join me with lecture and be part of it as well. Here's that Facebook group So again, it's FDOM at TXST. Please request to join. I will accept you in, and then you can follow the study guide, which will be kind of a living, breathing document throughout the semester. But we'll just keep paying attention to it throughout the weeks as we go, and you should be on the right track in terms of success in this class. One other really important thing with this class is keeping track of all the dates. I try to help you as much as possible with as many reminders of due dates, and I know your lab instructors will as well. But there are a lot of moving parts in this class, so cannot stress enough for you to, whatever you need to do, find a way to keep track of all the due dates. I use an app called Todoist, Todoist. It's free. It allows you to put in due dates. You can get push notifications for reminders. So whatever you need to do, whether that's Google Calendars, whether it's Todoist or some other app, keep track of all the due dates in this class. Also, feel free to ask for help. Use that hashtag on Twitter to get help on projects, to collaborate, to study. That's one of the best parts of this class. Is every semester I see students setting up study groups using the FDOM17 hashtag. Also, you'll be sharing your content on that FDOM17 hashtag. A lot of times you'll ask a question using that hashtag and another student will answer it before I even see the question. So it's a really good community. Use those lab sessions and your graduate assistants for guidance as well. That's why they're there. That's why those labs are so important. So use them wisely. Also, contact your lab assistant first if there's an issue. If that doesn't end up working out, you can then contact me. My office hours are Mondays and Wednesdays from 1:30 to 3, and then I also have lab hours on Thursdays from 9:30 to 11 a.m. My office is Old Main 230, so the water fountain on the second floor, right to the right of that, there's a little cubby hole of offices, and I'm back there. You can find me on Twitter. You can email me. Several ways to get a hold of me if you have any questions or concerns. So I'll stop this first video right there. Again, please do not hesitate to contact me if you have any questions at all. And I hope we're going to have a great semester. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. And we'll keep going with the rest of our video lecture for today.